Hey, sports fans. This is the Skylander sports scene. My name is John Kuntz. I'm the athletic director at Sussex County Community College. And my guest today is Caitlin Gaffney, the head women's basketball coach here at the college. How you doing today, Caitlin?
I'm doing great.
Let's get started here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your playing career and your coaching career?
Okay, so I graduated from Randolph High School. I played there for my 4 years and went on to play Division II NAI basketball up at Houghton College for 4 years as well. After that, I've been coaching for probably about 10 years now, from various AAUs to assisting at high schools, worked my way up, came from Pope John to head coaching here for the women's basketball team. So lots of coaching and lots of different programs that I've been involved with.
What was your experience like playing in college? Was that, I imagine it was enjoyable, it was fun. If you're a basketball player, you like to play, and you played at the college level. And what did you achieve? Did you achieve anything individually, any type of awards, and did the team achieve?
Definitely my biggest thing was I was a walk-on when I walked into the school. So for me, it was just an accomplishment in itself to go from being a walk-on to being a starter who played and scored heavy amounts, double digits towards the end of my career. So that for me was an accomplishment in itself. But definitely being a part of the team changed how much I loved basketball. At first, it was just kind of something I did, but being a part of that team for 4 years, I loved the girls, I loved being a part of the team, and I decided it was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But I realized, like, putting the effort in and understanding that you have to work outside of the practices that you go to in high school and in college. I really learned that, but I didn't learn it until too late in my career, and it was something I always wanted to be able to teach girls earlier, the skills that they need and the effort and time they need to put in, and if they do, they could be very good. So I definitely got motivated to work with younger people and help them to reach their goals when it comes to basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, walk on, that's impressive. I mean, that's usually fairly rare, at the college level where a coach will take a walk-on player. But for you to do that, to have the courage, first of all, to do that, and then to achieve, over your 4 years there, to get playing time and start and score in double digits. So very, very impressive. All right, let's talk about your team this year and the season to date, what the team has accomplished, what you have seen from the Lady Skylanders, what you've been pleased with.
So the team is accomplishing a lot this year. We went from the program being slightly like having difficulties with numbers to and wins to at this point this year we have already broke the scoring record for the women's team overall. So we did that before December, which is amazing to see us going from the previous record to now already halfway through the year beating that record. We are also on track to have our first 1,000-point female scorer in the history of the college, which is awesome. That's Brielle Hilbert from Wallkill High School. And on top of that, we also have her breaking the women's and men's scoring record for a single game with 50 points, which she had 46 in a game before that, and then she went to 50. So all of those things, and we're not even fully through the year, but a lot of different things that we're breaking right now and still on our way to setting a record. So the girls this year are definitely doing a lot of great things, which is awesome for them.
Yeah, they've certainly accomplished a lot in the first half of the season alone. I've seen a number of their games here at home. Brielle Hilbert is certainly, a top player, a top scorer for you, and to break the scoring record twice in one season, in half a season basically, and to get 50 points to break the overall scoring record. The previous record was 49 points, held by a men's player, Steve Pappas, I think, in our first year that we had men's basketball going back to 1987. So that record held for 20 years, and Brielle came up with 50 points, and that particular game was on the road out at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yep, we won by 1 point, so all those 50 points were needed.
That's for sure, absolutely. So that was a great team win for you, and great for Brielle to break the record. You also had a couple other. You've had some great wins, like you said. You won 9 games to this point, which is a school record for wins in a season by the women's basketball team. You had a win over Passaic County Community College, which traditionally is a very
tough team.
Strong team.
And they're doing well this year. Their record is pretty good as well, so it was a great win. So looking forward to the next one. But definitely, and we came very close to Brookdale, who was the champions of last year. They won the entire region, so the fact that we only lost to them by a few points was pretty awesome for us to see as well.
Yeah, that's really good to see the improvement of the team and and the ladies individually. So why don't we talk a little bit more about your personnel on the team? We've mentioned Brielle. You can talk a little bit more about her because she's certainly a great scorer for you and has done a lot over her year-and-a-half career right now, and hopefully she'll finish strong and will achieve that goal of becoming the first female 1,000-point scorer in SCCC history. But let's hear a little more about her and some of the other girls.
So Brielle, she started out her first game. She started out with 38 points, so she was leading the nation in scoring. And since then, she has fluctuated down to maybe 28 points a game. But either way, she's always in the top 5 of scoring in her entire region, which is a lot of schools. So it's awesome to see someone who can score like that. Her 3-point percentage is top notch as well. She definitely leads the region with that. So scoring-wise, she's awesome. But outside of that, she's getting steals, she's getting assists, and she definitely is a leader that is helping some of the girls on our team who haven't played as much basketball. Brielle comes alongside them and really pushes them to become better, and they work hard for her because they want her to achieve. So it's great to have a player who not only can lead with scoring, but also lead on the floor in assists and passing and steals at the end of games that clinch wins. So she does a lot for us. Past her, we have Keely, who's been scoring. She missed the first half of the season, but at this point she's coming back and averaging, I think, 15 points a game right now. So she also is a huge part of our team. First game back, she had, I think, 19 points off of a broken arm. Her first game back, first day able to play. So that was awesome to see her having that success right away.
She broke her arm or her wrist in the
first minute and a half of our first game
of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, she's credit to her, for sticking through the rehab part and coming back strong and
very
being
strong.
Being a major contributor for you. Okay, who else you got?
And then we have right now Brenly Kanakagard, who's from Veritas. So she's a freshman this year. She is averaging, I believe, 14 points right now, but some games she's having 20 or more. She is definitely she's going to be very good, I know, throughout her career, but definitely coming off of high school, she was not scoring as many points as she is now in college, and she's getting a lot better. So definitely her aggression.
Yeah, I've watched her. She's an aggressive player.
Yeah, she's very aggressive.
She's a tough kid, and she gets after it, and she goes full tilt. I know sometimes, you watch her, she's going like 60 miles an hour, and you think, just slow down about 5 miles an hour, But she's a tough kid.
She's learning a lot. I know one of the things with her is from the beginning of the season to now, she has just become so much more dynamic. So seeing her growth as she walked into college basketball, which is a whole different ball game for some of these girls, she definitely stepped up to the plate and is doing very well this season. After her, we have Hannah, who is also from Veritas Christian Academy, Hannah Delberry. She was fluctuating in the top 10, but I think she might have dropped a little below that. But she's always up there with rebounds in the entire nation, or for our league, D3. But she is killing it when it comes to the board. She can get away from games with 20, 22 rebounds some games. So she's still up there with her rebounds and still working on her scoring, but she's getting there. She definitely puts in important baskets that we need and is a huge asset for us on defense for sure. And then after that, we have a couple of other girls on our team who have not played that much basketball in their high school careers, but we approached them and the girls approached them and, they decided they would come out and try it. And Grace and Emily, so Grace Tuin and Emily Vernosky, they're sophomores returning from last year. Both of them are seeing a ton of improvement from the first year to now this second year, a lot more playing time. And Emily has started in majority of the games that we've had this year, and she didn't play much at all last year, but she really put in the effort to work. And she will out-rebound even Hannah some games, so she really works and has learned a lot about basketball. And she's another girl who hadn't played really at all before she walked on last year because we needed her, and she's really turned that around, and her effort is incredible. And she motivates the other girls on her team. We have Jaylene, Jelhana Joaquin, and then we also have Brittany Wagner and Heather Sigling, who all did not play that much before coming, but again, we had some of our girls who hadn't played that much talk to them, and since they have stepped onto the court, I know Brittany, who hadn't played that much, she's a starter for us now. She scores baskets, she guards the best player on the other team and shuts them down. We have girls who she guards who usually have 30-point games, and she holds them to like 6. So she's an awesome player to have walked on and started playing. But the other girls as well, seeing basketball, they never really thought that they would be on a team and be able to play, but they absolutely love it and would praise it forever. And although they might not see that much playing time yet, they are working and they are getting better each day to the point where now they have serious minutes sometimes on the floor and do good damage. So it's great to see these girls who didn't know that maybe they would be college athletes or even athletes in itself, and they stepped on the floor and they have learned and grown because of the other girls on the team we have who are very encouraging and who bring them in and help them to grow. So the whole team as a unit, we need all of them to be doing the stuff that we've been doing, and they all are putting in effort to bring us to the point that we have to.
And recently we added a player to the roster for this.
Yes, we added Jelhana Joaquin. So she was not eligible to the first half, but she just was eligible for the second half of the season. And in her first game back, she already has scored a point. So that means that everyone on our team has officially scored. All 10 of our players have scored this season. So that's awesome for all of them to see.
Good. You have a great mix of players there, I think, in watching them. You have some role players. You have players who have their roles defined, as to who's going to hit the boards and rebound and who's going to distribute and who's going to score and that. So it's really good to see. And all of them have made a contribution to your team, which has led to the success. You're listening to the Skylander Sports Scene, and we're talking about Sussex County Community College women's basketball with the head coach, Kait Gaffney, right here on WRSK 97.5, your cruising oldies station. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between high school and college. You played in high school. You played in college. You coached at the lower level, high school level, and even younger. And now you're coaching at college. What are the differences in the women's game between high school and college?
I would say the college game is very intense, and if you're going to play the college game, you have to be someone who's willing to dive on the floor and be intense and fight for it. Because a lot of our girls, their first few games out of high school, I know they walk in and they're surprised by the intensity of the college game. But once they do start playing in it, they see that it's not 100% different, but it even though it is more challenging, it's something that high school girls can come out and play. And a lot of the girls, I think they don't realize that to come out, they are able to be a college athlete and they are able to play college women's basketball. A lot of girls think that when they're in high school, if they're not the best player on their team, they probably won't cut it when they come to college. But the truth is that they can, and they can do some pretty awesome things, especially here at Sussex, because we have girls who are doing awesome things and getting scholarships who didn't do that much when it came to their high school careers because they were at very good schools who were putting people into D1 schools. So just because you might not be the best player on your high school team does not necessarily mean you can't play college. So if basketball is something that these girls really care about and they want to continue and pursue, some girls, I think, that should step up and walk out and try to join these teams. Like I said, I was a walk-on, but I think that other girls can be walk-ons as well and should look to play at Sussex because they can play and contribute and get heavy numbers if they want to come. As I said, Brenly and Hannah, for their first years out, coming from high school basketball, they had some 20-point games already and 20 rebounds for Hannah. And the same thing with Keely, who didn't play as much at High Point. She came out here, and last year she averaged, I think, 17 or 19 points a game. So it's definitely a possibility to come play if you're willing to step up to the intensity that is college basketball. But it's not 100% different from what you're going to see at high school.
Yeah. There's opportunities here at the community college for student athletes, for students in general, and I know that students are always encouraged to get involved in something, to make their college experience really worthwhile. Athletics is one piece of that. If that's what you're interested in, then we certainly encourage and welcome people to try out for our teams. If it's the theater or something else that they're interested, student government or student activities, they just need to get involved when they come to the community college. But we're talking about women's basketball right now, so is there specific things that you look for in a recruit, or when you go out and you see high school girls basketball being played, or are you just looking for someone who is committed and dedicated and wants to be a part of something? What do you look for when you go out and recruit?
There's two different things that I definitely like to look for: people who are going to be that aggressive person that I need at the college level and who are willing to, if they get knocked down, get right back up and keep working and keep hustling, because I think that's important. Talent is important, but I also want someone who's going to work hard for the full 40 minutes that we play. So I definitely want girls who have that characteristic about them, that die hard, that no matter what the score is, they're going to keep working. So that's something I look for when I recruit. I also like team players. As I said, some of the girls on our team are, scoring 30 points a game, but the other girls on the team aren't selfish, aren't jealous of that issue, and they all work the ball around. Brielle could be perfectly happy scoring 5 points in a game if that meant we still won because someone else stepped up. So definitely girls who want to be a part of a team and team wins and understand that when we win, when Sussex wins, they win, and also that intensity level. But like I said, any girls that want to be a part of that, and I can see that they have a desire to make their teammates better when they're out on the court and not just look good themselves, that's something I would definitely say I look for.
Yeah, so it's not about how much skill you have. That's a part of it. That's a part of the equation, obviously. But I mean, we have a very varying degree of skill level on our teams, not just in women's basketball, but in our other sports that I've seen. And I think it's more of that mindset of, do you want to be a part of something and you want to make something special, of your college time.
Like I said, Emily Vernosky, when she was first asked to play last year, she wanted to be a part of something, like you were saying. She didn't care whether it was basketball, any sport at all. She didn't know. She just wanted to have friends and meet people at the college because she'd been coming from a homeschool career, so she wanted to just make some friends. So we said, basketball, why not? So she came out her first year, didn't play that much, but she had such a heart and a willingness to grow that by this year, like I said, she's starting, she's putting up baskets, she's getting mad rebounds. So it's a willingness to grow as well. But if you want to be a part of something and you're willing to take the time and the effort to put into it, basketball is definitely a sport for you to join.
Yeah, that's great to see. Emily's had a very nice career with us, so really, really proud of her. Let's talk a little bit about the competition that you face. And Sussex County Community College is a member of the National Junior College Athletic Association, and we are in Region 19, which is all of New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And you travel around. We also go upstate New York and play games into New York. You see a lot of tough competition along the way. You mentioned the Brookdale College down in South Jersey, and some of the others. Rowan College at Gloucester County has a really good program. Talk a little bit about the competition that you face, and were you surprised by it when you first started coaching?
I definitely think that the competition, we go to play against some schools that are very high level, and they have girls that are going to go far with their college careers, just like Brielle is. Then some of the schools that you play are very well coached and very good. So when we play against them, we have to have everything fall into place because they are very good. And then we also will play schools that are a little below our level. And so there's that good middle ground where we're playing teams that are lower, we're playing teams that are right our level, right in the middle, and then we're playing some of the very high, very good level schools. So we get to see all of that, which is great for the girls to have some games where the bottom rung players get to play more, and then some games that are deep challenges where they really have to push themselves and grow and get better because they see that competition. It's not like they get to walk in and have an easy year where they're going to win all their games, or walk in and have a hard game where we're going to get blown out every game. Like I said, right now we're sitting at 9-6, so a lot of games that we can win, and then there were some tough games that we really had to work hard and battle through. But I think that it's important for the girls to see all those different levels of competition because they see the level they can grow to, and they also, even the bottom girls who are just pushing the other girls every day, get to have a chance to play and score some points against some of the other schools in our league.
Absolutely. You're listening to the Skylander Sports Scene. We're talking Sussex County Community College women's basketball with our head coach, Caitlin Gaffney, right here on WRSK 97.5. Let's talk a little bit about what's the style of play that the Skylanders are using, and does it depend on your personnel? What do you try to accomplish during the course of a game?
Our style of play, we like to go for a more disciplined look. So we like to slow the ball down, and we like to use our 30-second shot clock, and we like to run the play. So that's kind of, if we have a fast break or we're playing against a team that I know is slower than us, we will run and we will push it more. But we like to sit more in our half-court offense and take our time to make sure that every shot we take is the best shot that we can get in that possession so that we can use the clock as to our advantage. And I know in the past we struggled with subs. This year we have 10 girls, so we're not really struggling with that. So we push it a little harder and we play a little more aggressively. Right now we tend to play man-to-man half-court and really work, and the girls love playing man-to-man, but we will work on some zone offenses, some traps if we have to sit back a little more. But for the most part, we want to be aggressive as much as we can on defense and use our great defense to turn that into offensive baskets. But I definitely say that my girls are hard-working defenders. That is really where I think most of our talent comes from these girls who may not be as good offensively. They will work so hard on defense to make sure that we are in help and helping each other out. And then offensively, like I said, we like to pull it back, set screens, make sure we're getting the best shots. So that tends to be our style.
Yeah, so you kind of take what the other team gives you. If you can get out a few times and run and score some easy baskets, the Lady Skylanders will do that. When the other team kind of packs it in a little bit, okay, we'll play a little offense, pass it around, and ball movement and all that. So
we have a lot of very good three-point shooters on my team, so we like to run plays to get them the ball if we can. Yeah,
Brielle's a good shooter. Keely can knock down the three. So it's good. It's really good to have those weapons. How do you handle playing time, Coach? Now, you said this year we're in a little bit more there's a little bit more competition because you have more numbers. In the past, when you had less numbers, everybody's got to play. Now we're getting a situation where we're growing our roster a little bit. We're competing a little bit better, and you want to try to keep everyone on the team happy. But of course, the better players have to play in order to win. How do you handle the playing time as your coaching style?
Well, going into the season, I meet with all the girls, so they all know how much playing time they should expect to see. So no one walks into the season expecting to be playing 40 minutes or 30 minutes of a game, and then they're not. They're going to sit on the bench. No one walks in knowing that. Everyone knows what they're expecting, and I make sure that if there's someone I say, you might not see that many minutes some of these games, we talk about it, and the girls want to be there. They want to be a part of the team, whether they play 40 minutes or 2 minutes. But most of our games, most of the girls have all gotten in to almost every game, so at least a few minutes. Subs usually play heavy minutes, so I think a good 8 or 7 girls play for the majority of every game. And like I said, there are some teams that are lower level, so I think one of our more recent games, we had our bottom 5 play the entire, almost full 3/4 of a game. So that was awesome for them to see. And what was even more awesome was that my starting 5 was sitting on the bench, jumping up and down, cheering for them, super loud. We got a lot of compliments from people in the crowd about how excited our starting 5 were for the other 5 who support them day in and day out. So definitely everyone sees playing time. Everyone may not get as many minutes, but we definitely make sure that when you do get minutes, everyone's cheering for you, and it's a fun time to be a part of. So
great. Let's talk a little bit about academics.
Okay.
You have some players I know, because I've seen their grades, very, very good in the classroom. And I know at least one 4.0, another one 3.9. A lot of them are up there. How does that relate to being an athlete or onto the basketball court? Is there a relationship there between being strong academically and being a good athlete?
Well, as part of our team, I know we have had some times where we've had girls sit out of practice and have to do their homework in the stands or in my office so that they weren't allowed to practice because they were struggling in a class, or I got a note back from a professor saying they weren't doing well here or there. So we definitely look at the academics and make sure that if girls are not doing well in their classes, they don't get to play basketball. So once they get their grade back up, they get to be a part of it. I know we've had before a game, a girl wasn't even allowed to warm up with us. She had to go into the back and work on her getting her essay in so that she could be academically eligible, because that's what matters most, is that their grades are up and that they have a future that they're walking into besides just basketball. So we definitely care about that a lot, and we definitely check on what the girls are doing. I ask them constantly, how is this class going? How's that class? A lot of the girls choose to take classes together, so they help each other out in those classes. But I think that, especially being here at Sussex, a lot of these girls, basketball is something they do for fun. It might not be. They're not necessarily going on to play after 2 years. Now, we have a few girls who are, but some may not. So we definitely want them to focus on their academics while they're here and make sure their grades are good and they are going to be set up to go to the next school that they want to go to or their next career. But I think being a part of the team and having their coaches ask constantly, their teammates ask constantly, and having that weight on them that they can't play in the second semester if they don't pass their classes definitely helps them to make sure that they are focused and they are passing, because a lot of kids at Sussex might not have that same focus and intensity that the girls have because they are a part of a team.
Yeah, there are a number of good student athletes here at the college across the board, across all sports that I've seen over the years. And I think part of the reason is that there's a real good support system here at the college in general. They're supported, as student athletes in the athletic department by their coaches, by the athletic staff there to get them into study hall or tutors or things like that. but other staff members here at the college, there's so many good people here that are willing to help, whether they're in the registrar's office or the counseling center or what have you. I think there's a great support system. We certainly want to see our students achieve academically because, that's the main reason they're here, to go to school and to learn. What's the one or two most important characteristics in your mind for a women's basketball player to have?
I touched on it, but I definitely think being a team player for at least my program, but I think it's so important to have people who aren't selfish and who want to come on and understand that you have roles. Again, like I said, I talk to people about their playing time before the year starts, but I also make sure that we go over their roles in the game. I do not have, we say it all the time, but I always am telling the girls, I can't have 5 Brielle Hilberts on the floor and expect to win games because Brielle, if you don't know, she's 5'3". She wouldn't do that great boxing out and having to guard some of these 6-foot girls that we're playing against. So I always tell the girls, I can't win games with 5 of Brielle, but I can win games with Brielles and Keelys and Hannahs and Brits. That's what I need, and I need people who are going to step up and understand that you might get 15 rebounds and 0 points, but those 15 rebounds helped us to win the game. So definitely seeing someone who's willing to step into their role and be that role for the game and understand that that role has value is important. I don't want people who just want to score points and all they care about is the end of the game, how many points they had. So I think for me, that's one of the number one characteristics. And then again, besides that, I believe that people who want to hustle and work hard, it's not always about talent. It's about who is going to sprint back on defense, who is going to get back up after they get fouled and the ref doesn't call it, who is going to keep working even when the score is, we're down 20, who is going to keep playing and bring that lead back up. We had a few games where we were down 20 and we brought it up to 5 or 7, where we fought back and almost tied the lead. So that kind of characteristics where you're going to not only be a good teammate, but also be someone who's willing to work hard and never give up and have that die-hard attitude. So those would be my top two.
Yeah, those are good qualities to have, to be a part of a team. In the let me ask you this question as we're winding down here. In the coaching world, who are your role models? Who do you look at, and see and try and take ideas from?
I would say my dad was actually a college coach who he was young, as I am also young, and when he first started his college career, he was right out of college, and he walked into coaching women's basketball and men's basketball at a college, so he did both. But he won a national championship in his second year of coaching college basketball. So, and I think he was, like I said, 24 years old when he did that, which is amazing. So I often go to him a lot to ask questions about things because I know he has had success and his team always has success. He works right now coaching high school basketball, and they beat almost every team every year by 40 points. And it's sad to see those teams who lose, but he definitely knows a lot when it comes to basketball. And when it comes to him, he has taught me that what's more important is not necessarily winning, but teaching these girls things that are going to matter in life. And I definitely want to be someone who teaches them. Again, that's why I say academics is important, why being a team player is important. I don't care how many points you're putting up, but I make sure that my girls understand day in and day out that there are more important things than just basketball, and that being a good player is being a good teammate. So we go over integrity, we go over when you say something, make sure you live up to it. We go over all of that stuff. But when it comes to role models, I definitely like to see coaches who are pushing their kids to become better people and not just worried about who the best player in the team is. And I also, through my coaching career, the coaches that I've had in my life, I love to see coaches who are not just focused on the best player on the team, but who work with the players on their team who are the 9th or 10th player, because I've seen myself, even from following that example, that coaches who put work into the bottom rung will see they reap fruit towards the end of that person's career because they always grow and they always get better. But that's, I guess, what I would say as my role model, definitely my dad and a few of the coaches that I've had at Randolph High School and in my college career who have pushed me to become better. I was not always the best player, but when they put their time and their effort into me, I definitely grew and became a lot better because of them.
Yeah, that's great. Well, if there's anybody out there who's interested in women's basketball or any aspect of the college, they can certainly contact us, and if it's specifically athletics, you can check out our website, SussexSkylanders.com. You can pull up the schedule of games, stop by, come out and see a basketball game, contact our coaches, and learn a little bit more about Sussex County Community College athletics. Well, I want to thank you, Kait,
Thank you
for stopping by today and discussing women's basketball at Sussex County Community College right here on WRSK 97.5, your cruising oldies station. We'll catch you next time.